Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show today. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning, Texas. Good morning to the United States of America. And of course, good morning to the world. We are going to have a great program for you today. We have a hell of a lot to talk about. But as usual, I repeat, I say at the beginning, the show is your show. So as such, no matter what we have to cover, you come first. And if we don't cover what we intended to cover, you can still go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter to see the videos, etc., what we intended to cover. Anyhow, before we get into the program, we must, of course, acknowledge our geniuses who make this program available on the airwaves and elsewhere. Good morning, Control Room. How's everybody doing this morning?
Good morning, Egberto. What's going on, man? I'm just sitting here recovering. Just kind of, that song "Stranger on the Shore" by Kenny G just chokes me up every time I hear it.
Oh, I love Kenny G. Which one is it? Which one?
Oh, "Stranger on the Shore."
Oh,
that one's for Harry this morning. Harry always calls me up. He called me yesterday on the business line and says, "Oh, I got a bunch of requests for you tomorrow." I said, "Okay, Harry, we'll take care of them." All smooth jazz, of course, because Harry is a smooth jazz fan.
Yes.
And we just get smooth jazz anywhere in town.
Yes.
So I really enjoy playing the songs for Harry. So, Harry, there you go. It's Kenny G and "Stranger on the Shore." And I've got to go dry my eyes because it makes me water.
Eye sweats.
Eye sweats. Yeah, absolutely. Jack, what you got for today?
Well, I got a couple of quotes here. One from Ben Franklin and one from Rush. Ben Franklin said, "He who trades liberty for security deserves neither." And then Rush comes along and says, "I won't give in to security under pressure, and I won't give up on the promise of adventure."
That Rush Limbaugh?
No, Rush the group.
Oh, Rush the group. Okay. I was just curious, man, because everybody says Rush is right. And I think, okay, there's the band. But then I learned that there's a Rush Limbaugh. Like, oh, really? Okay.
Well,
is Rush Limbaugh your idol?
No, man, he's dead.
I'm sorry about that, but
I'm not.
That was great, man. That was a good one, Jack. But as usual, brother, insightful. Anyway, we got a great show for you guys today. Listen, man. Before we get started, though, today is the last day for Politics Done Right in this fund drive, unless there's an extenuating circumstance to do it, and I don't think there will be one this time around. So I want to ask all of you to make it be a great day for Politics Done Right. Bring us over the top. I ask you humbly. I ask you kindly. Please give us a call at 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. And hit that and tell them that it's for Politics Done Right. Well, it is for KPFT under the Politics Done Right banner. All right. We really need that. Hey, look, we're sort of behind, as in like way behind. So my question to any angel people out there, angel by meaning you have been blessed with quite a bit because of your hard work. I ask you to let's keep stations like this out. And if you can be one of those big donors, the ones that give, I don't know, $250 a pop, $500 a pop, $1,000 a pop, $5,000 a pop, please consider doing that for KPFT in the name of Politics Done Right. You know what? We are here to make sure that all have equal access to success, not unlimited equity, not that you don't have to work for what you gain. I believe 100%, not in equity, or rather, I do believe in equity, not in equality necessarily. Well, equality, not necessarily. Let me not tie my tongue here. everybody has equal access to success. If you want to be successful and the playing field is there for you to be successful, that is what we're all for. That is truly the progressive mantra. The idea that everybody who wants to work can work. The idea that everybody who wants to succeed can succeed. If you want to just sit back, of course, we do also believe in something called your basic income, because we are human beings and we believe in humanity. Nobody goes, everybody who goes to school, folks, everybody who goes to whatever organizations, people want to be productive. There are very few slouches out there, even as much as some would want you to believe. But anyway, going back to the subject behind that rambling, please, if there are people with quite a few means, please go ahead and support with high dollars if you can. 713-526-5738, extension 1 to donate, extension 2 to be on air. Of course,
hey, Berto.
Go ahead, my brother.
Hey, KPFT is partnering with the Houston Center for Independent Living, is a community-based nonprofit independent living advocacy organization.
Nice.
Created by and for people with disabilities, formed to promote the full inclusion, equal opportunity, and participation of persons with disabilities in every aspect of community life. What we're doing is, for every $1,000, we're getting a parka to donate to the Houston Center for Independent Living. And I think we're up to about, close to 120 of them now.
I think it's 117 right now.
Okay, yeah, it's getting close. Okay.
But our expectation is that we need to raise, since these are quarterly fund drives, we run a minimum of $50,000 a month. We want to get to a little beyond $150,000 this fund drive. We're still about $33,000 away.
Yes.
So
get the bucks out, get the guitas out, get the dinero, get the bread.
I love the way you say dinero.
Bake it.
Hey, Jack.
KPFT.
Where's that
folks,
bread?
Hey, I'm coming to the show now, folks, so stick with me. We're rambling here a bit. We're coming with a good show, but let me just say this. I want to ask Jack to do something for me. Jack, you just did sombrero. Como un gringo, como nosotros los gringos. Let's see you say sombrero. I like to play with you that way. Sombrero. Let me hear it, brother.
Sombrero.
Oh, there he goes. He rolled his R. I love you, brother. I love you. Anyway, look, folks, 713-526-5738. All of us now are gringos, and we need to support all of us with this program and others. 713-526-5738. Hit extension 1 to contribute, and I'll call your name out right away. Big donors, come on, man. Big donors. But look, if you can be a big donor, $5 a month, a coffee a month, I tell you, goes a long way. As we get hundreds of people to do that, it helps. $5 a month, a coffee a day for Politics Done Right, or for KPFT in the name of Politics Done Right. $10 a month. I am a $10 a month contributor. That's what I can. That is my contribution to KPFT. I do other contributions to other nonprofits that do this kind of work as well. I'm an activist. I ask you, if you have the wherewithal to do the same, please do. It really, really makes a difference to our entire society. Get the get the Politics Done Right T-shirt. That is $100 contribution, or get the regular KPFT T-shirt. $100 contribution. By the way, the Politics Done Right T-shirt has a nice logo on it, so please consider getting that as well. And without further ado, let's get to the program title of the show today. MAGA Speaker wants Social Security cut now. It is not a failed Tuberville, but our democracy. It is not a failed Tuberville, but our democracy. I want to start with that one because I think it has a certain importance that a lot of folks aren't looking at. I did this on my 3:00 show yesterday. I want to play it here. And then before we jump into the other subject, if you're so kind, give me a call. Give me your thoughts. 713-526-5738, extension number 2 to be on air, extension number 1 to donate. Please donate now so I can call you out. Today's the last day for Politics Done Right to meet its goals, and it's sort of like far away from the goal. Please, 713-526-5738, whatever you can. Here is the piece I want you guys to listen to that I did on our 3:00 show. Today, Joe Scarborough went ballistic on Tuberville. Tommy Tuberville, the ex-football coach who is holding back several hundred officers who need to be approved by the Senate. He's holding them back. One senator has the ability to stop progress in the Senate. And, Joe Scarborough and his panel, they completely destroyed the senator. Even Republican senators last night went onto the floor, and one after the other, as they brought up a particular officer to be confirmed, and Tuberville voted them down. One senator voted it down because every senator has the ability to put a hold on these things going forward on just about any bill. One senator can stop it from coming to the floor. And it's amazing because so what we have is Scarborough really attacking Tuberville and trying to say that he's holding the American military hostage, and he's prevented all these officers from getting approved for serving. I want you to listen to this. Then we'll take it on the other side because I have another take.
And I remember even then that it was a political science course on Soviet history. And, we were talking about Cold War and everything. And this professor happened to have a lot of experience dealing with the Soviets. He goes, they look at our soldiers, regardless of what you hear, they think they're 7 feet tall. They'll never say it. They're scared to death of American Marines. They want no part of it. And do you know what's changed in all that? And nothing. Because the Chinese are scared of our military. The Russians are scared of our military. The North Koreans are scared of our military. The world is scared of our military. They quake in fear. The only people that don't seem to respect our military right now are Republicans on Capitol Hill and the guy who's going to be the next president of the United States if the Republicans have their way. It is grotesque. They stand alone in the world in their disrespect for the strength and the power and the might of America's armed services.
What a brand on that.
Well said, sir. Beyond the grotesqueness of it, the stupidity of it. There's one thing that pretty much everybody agrees on, Republican, Democrat, of course, not these knuckleheads, is a respect and a love and a reverence for military. I can go forward to 2024 and basically think about an entire campaign, military for Joe Biden, military for Democrats. Have a campaign called Generally Speaking, where I get every general to come forward. And they are, as we already have, and just come forward and said, I understand the importance of readiness. I understand the importance of defending our country. And
by the way, I understand better than you because as the senator said, we were in Fallujah.
Yeah.
Right. We were fighting across Afghanistan and in Iraq, Tommy Tuberville, while you were sitting there playing Appalachian State.
Now I have a question for you. This is not constitutional. What's occurring here? This is a choice. This is a choice of the Senate to operate in this manner, which gives the power of one senator, un senador, one senator, to stop the progress. So are we going to say that we have a functioning democracy where we can allow one senator to put the entire military at risk by preventing the promotion of people onto the ascension of people, officers into the fold? One senator. What kind of a democracy is that? That one senator, 1/330 million of America, his will gets done. That is a flawed democracy. So while we have Scarborough talking about how bad this one senator is, I'm saying we should have a country where one senator could be as horrendous as possible. We should be able to have one senator that is even a nincompoop. But we should not have a democracy where one senator can hold back the entire nation. Just like we had a Congress where we couldn't elect a speaker, and that part of Congress that held the entire country hostage could stop the flow of information. How is that possible? It tells you that, one, in the case of Tuberville, the Senate has horrendous rules that are undemocratic. In the case of the House, there are flaws in our Constitution that allows these things to occur. So when we are out there promoting democracy and promoting democracy following the tenets of the United States, we ought to be careful, because what we are showing is if you have Neanderthals that are the ones executing your Constitution, they can actually prove all the flaws that it has, which are many. A Constitution can be written that doesn't allow one senator from crippling the government, one party in the minority from crippling the government, one set of judges from preventing laws to be effected. It's a flawed system. And when we are promoting democracy, we should have the humility to understand that this system designed back several hundred years ago is so flawed that it is now not functional. Take a look at what's occurring in our government today. And until we decide to elect people that are sensible, and we hope get them elected without the current crop of you know what in office, preventing them from being elected, we are in trouble. Our democracy is in trouble. And whenever you pat yourself on the back claiming you are so good and so infallible, what ultimately occurs is there are those there to prove you wrong. We need to fix our democracy. We definitely need to fix our democracy. What's your thoughts on that? 713-526-5738, extension number 2 to be on air. 713-526-5738, extension number 2 to be on air. I welcome your thoughts, whether you agree, whether you disagree. I would love to hear your comments on that, because I feel too often that many times we blame an individual for doing something that's wrong. And while that is correct, I mean, Tuberville is going out of scope the way he's holding back folks from being selected in the military. But you know what? He's doing that because he can. We have created a system that allows him to do that. We need to fix the system. As we see these flaws, we should fix them instead of constantly saying, what would the founding fathers have done? Or the founding fathers never expected us to have guys like Donald Trump. The founding fathers never expected us to have guys like Tommy Tuberville. Well, I don't know about that really, because the founding fathers, saw what we had in the South and in the South with all the types of the nice way that we treated people in the South. And it seemed to me like that was compromised the way as we compromise much away. We need to elect people ready not to live a nostalgic life, but to say, you know what? We care about people more so than we care about tradition. We care about people more so than we care about the fallacy of who we think we are. We care more about humanity than we care about, what we were told from our inception. folks, there's a lot to be done if we really want to get it done. There's a lot to be made fair if we really choose to do so. We have another piece from Morning Joe, but I rather wait for our calls to, if people have commentary on this, I'd love to hear you like now, 713-526-5738. Please don't wait till the end of the show to call. Also, please don't wait till the end of the show to contribute and make this fund drive for, in the name of this portion, in the name of Politics Done Right, a success. We need it to be a success. We need to do our part. So I urge you, I implore you, give us a call at 713-526-5738 to speak on air, or 713-526-5738 extension 1 to get a donation. Let's go to Brother Johnny, the mayor of Politics Done Right. How you doing, Johnny? Good morning.
Once again, you're correct. Things are confusing and ironic. Barbara Lee, the one legislator back in the day, one voice, she was not able to stop the war machine. And look what happened after that.
Can I interrupt you? I want to interrupt you 1 second, Johnny, because you just said something that is profound, right? We never stop military action, but we can stop just about anything else with one senator. Anyway, continue, my brother. Continue.
Anyway, that one woman who voted her conscience and who was proven to be correct, as always, it's always the right people that turn out to be right.
Yeah, exactly.
Tommy Tuberville, Tommy Tupperware, I should say, coach, as he likes to refer to himself in his outgoing voicemail messages. And I always harangue him on that. Says, why are you calling yourself a coach? You're a GD senator right now. Are you ashamed of calling yourself a senator because you don't feel like you measure up? I get it. I can make up all kinds of stuff about this guy when I call his voicemails, and I talk to his staff sometimes live. But that's confusing. Is that while I can demote Joe Biden from president to Mr. Biden, and while Magic Jack promotes me to a king, I don't understand that. All these things are confusing to me. I think you're right. We need to rework a lot of the stuff that's what we call the government, our government structure, starting with the job description of the president of the United States, and then we can go from there. But yeah, there's the founding fathers, for all we like to say about them, don't forget, they owned people. So how smart can you be to own a person if you're too lazy to do the work yourself? It makes sense that when you put together a government, there's going to be some problems that will be exposed generations later. And so here you go.
Exactly. Exactly. It's important. One of the things that we have learned from the time we went to school, we get indoctrinated in just about every avenue. Good morning, Melanie Keelan. Welcome to Politics Done Right from Barcelona, Spain. Anyway, one of the things that we learn is how to indoctrinate ourselves. And there are reasons why that occurs, right? We have a structure here in our country that in order to function the way it functions, require a certain level of indoctrination. And I would say that is standard with every country. Every country, you have to have some level of indoctrination. That is your culture. That is what you believe in. That is what form who you are. I get it. I get that. But many of these things
are the invisible man up in the sky.
Say that again?
You mean like the invisible man up in the sky with lightning bolts sitting on a cold marble? Yeah,
right. Some people don't think it's an invisible man. Some people think it's real. And you know what? I don't have a problem when your belief causes no harm. If your belief causes no harm, I've got no problem with it. You can believe that the star is made of ice. I don't care. But a lot of the things that we are indoctrinated about actually has an effect. Racism is a form of indoctrination, right? I don't believe in race. I do not believe in race at all. I think science proves all of us who say this make that statement correct, right? But because we need that construct in order to have a capitalist society, and we can go into that some other day, folks. I'm not going to do that today because of the subject, but I mean, all the isms that we have, capitalism depends on it. In fact, it's the indoctrinative failure of what the definition of capitalism makes those isms necessary. All the isms allow it to function. I mean, if you take a look at what's happening in society today, right? How people are falling behind continuously on average, not the individual that can get wealthy, but on average, it's an issue. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. Anyhow, so, but I'm not going to go into that in detail right now, but rest assured that all our isms that's been imposed on us, all our indoctrinations that have been imposed on us, it was by design. It's now an autopilot, but it was by design. It's an autopilot now. So the people that are instituting all these things, it's just the way it is. That's how we say it, the way it is. Anyway, Johnny, anything else you have to say before I go to Social Security?
Yeah. Do you realize that it's coming up on 43 years? 43 years ago, a lifetime ago. Unbelievable how time flies. That Ronald Reagan weaseled his way into the White House. And we had to endure Andy Rooney on CBS 60 Minutes showing us motion picture photography of Ronald Reagan bare-chested, chopping wood, looking at his flabby, wrinkled chest. And I could not eat lasagna for a month after that. And then to add insult to injury, John Lennon was killed by some right-wing muke.
Yeah.
It went downhill from there, and we never recovered.
That was a loss. But you know what? We recovered. We just recovered a recent song that John Lennon and the Beatles were trying to make for the longest time, and they'd used AI to release it. Now it's out yesterday, I believe. So interesting. Little. Yeah, there's a new song from the Beatles, believe it or not. Paul McCartney is the only one alive, I think. Paul McCartney, I think that's the only one alive. Yeah, so.
Ringo.
But Ringo Starr is dead. Yeah, but anyway.
When did that happen?
I think the drummer, right? Ringo? If I'm wrong, call and tell me, but I thought Ringo Starr died, man. But anyway, I could be wrong.
He's Republican now, and he's very much alive.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I don't want to create false stories, man. So I tell people immediately I don't quite know. But anyway, Johnny, thank you so kindly for calling as usual. Folks, give me a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate. I'm going to the Social Security thing now, but I need to give me 2 minutes or 3 minutes to make a pitch here. I need it. I need 3 minutes to make a pitch. I get back to Social Security at 8:30. Now, here's the thing, folks. I mean, at 6:30. What am I saying? Anyway, listen to me, folks. Politics done right. We are responsible for raising $5,000 in this $150,000 fund drive. That's the responsibility of politics done right. We can't do it without you. There are several ways for us to get to that number. I'd love for a lot of you right now, if at all possible, if it's within your ability, to call 713-526-5738, hit extension number 1, and go ahead and tell them however much you want to give, whether you want to be a sustainer or not. A sustainer says, hey, I want to give a cup of coffee a month, 2 cups of coffee a month, 3 cups of coffee a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month, whatever you can. Okay? And what that does is it allows us to continue functioning. We do this every quarter. We'd love to cut it down as we get more donors, as we get more sustainers specifically. We will be able to cut this down, but we haven't been able to reach that point yet. Our volunteer leaders are doing all they can to get this done. You can help us do it. 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to donate, or you can go to kpft.org, kpft.org, and provide our support there. Hit the donate button. Please remember to donate in the name of Politics Done Right so that we can add you as a supporter. Again, folks, we need those now. I don't see any on the screen yet, and I would love to be able to say thank you so kindly for ensuring that Politics Done Right can remain on air. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, and extension number 2 if you would like to speak on air. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or go to kpft.org. Remember, on Monday, we start back full-fledged program. Hey, muchísimas gracias, Marco Montalvo. Thank you so kindly for your contribution. Now, if we could get a lot more of what Marco just did, you can make a difference. Marco, your contribution goes a long way for making sure this station stays on air. I thank you so kindly. Let's get a few more. 713-526-5738. Extension number 1. I set up 630. I get back into the show. Come on in, brother Bart. How are you doing, my dear brother?
Good morning, my friend. I wanted to talk to you about this election one more time.
Yes, sir.
We want the city of Houston to turn into the city of Detroit. Vote for Sheila Jackson Lee. If you don't, vote for John Whitmire. That's your choices. Now, I want to tell you how you fell. You fell for the debate that your friend Neil and your other friend Cole put out there.
Okay.
With Michael Berry. He called this 2 weeks ago that Sheila Jackson Lee has nothing. She has no platform for the city of Houston, and she has accomplished nothing for the city of Houston. In the last 25 years, she has been in the Senate.
In the House. So,
in the House of Representatives of the United States. So back to Michael Berry. Michael Berry is a very smart man. He has this law degree. He is married to an Indian lady straight off the boat from India. She also has a law degree. She's very smart. She was, as a matter of fact, she was the Secretary of State of the state of Texas a few years back. And so you cannot call this guy a racist. The other thing about him, you say he's against blacks. He has 2 black children that are adopted. They're straight from Ethiopia, Africa. So you cannot connect Whitmire to Berry and say that he is racist. That was Sheila's last ditch effort, was to call everyone racist and hope that all other black people would vote for her, just like they always do. But this time, people are getting smarter. They heard how she talked to Jerome and called him, what'd she call him? A fat ass, worthless child. Just, not just Jerome, but all of her staffers. That's the way she treats them. So I don't want you to fall for this, with Neil and Cohen calling Whitmire a racist, because he's not.
Okay, Bart, I think I gave you, the free speech for you to say as you believe and you think. But so let's do a little enumeration of some of the things that you say, right? If not because somebody is married to somebody of another race or have children of another race means that they're not racist or they don't do racist things. Let's first get that out of the way. There's a lot of slave masters that had black children, right? And they remain slaves. So let's get context correct. Not because you're married to somebody means that the people of that particular ilk, you do not have prejudices against them. First of all, like I state all of the times, I do not believe in race, but we are in a racialized society based on just listening to your commentary. Now, secondly, yesterday, my brother, I tried to illustrate to you with examples, facts, and data that in fact, black people, and for that matter, other minorities, don't vote for minorities for the sake of, and I'm calling them minorities, meaning black, Latino, whatever, don't vote for them because of their color, because of their ethnicity, etc. People of color in general have to make calculated votes for the survival for many historical things. So I wish more people, yesterday you did tell me that you're a white guy, and I wish more people who have your thought process would open themselves up to stop believing that because you may look at a person's color as a determining factor to vote for them. Most minorities, and I think we had several women call in yesterday, specifically Shay, specifically Melissa, specifically Helen called in and pointed out that that's not, and these were 3 Black women, as I recall, pointed out that no, we don't vote like that. They said we vote based on what the persons do. When it comes to whether Sheila Jackson, did I interrupt you, my brother? Or did I let you speak completely?
No, go ahead, Alberto.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, my friend. I want to have that cup of coffee with you.
Thank you. We're going to have that cup of coffee. Thirdly, as far as Sheila Jackson Lee is concerned, I'll be very honest. Sheila Jackson, to me, had always loved the camera. And when somebody always puts themselves in front of the camera, it has always, give a bit of pause. But like I said, I met Sheila directly and watched her in action directly with her constituents in North Carolina at the Democratic Convention. And what I saw was a true politician. And by the way, I don't want a businessman running my country. I want politicians running my country. Politicians stand for people who understand how to write policies. So whenever somebody tells me they want a business person to run the country or to run the city, I say run like hell, because I want people who understand policies. I don't want my government run like a business, because a government is not a business. A government is supposed to be there where business and social and other things can occur in order to make life better for us all. But going back to Sheila, I saw how she treated her people. Not only did I see how she treats her people, but I also saw how she came up with policy. You talk about Michael Berry being smart. You talk about his wife being smart. I don't take that away from them at all. All right. But what I do tell you specifically is that woman, and by the way, I do share some sort of a kinship with her, given that she has Caribbean roots and I have Caribbean roots. I have all kind of roots, but so I just bring that up to kind of move the argument. But anyway, so she works hard, a very, very hard worker, and I've seen that with my own eyes. There's a certain thing, Brother Bart, and Black women go through this a whole lot. And like I said, we live in a racialized society, and that is of all the cultures and so forth, and it's because of the reality of what they must live. They take a lot of spears, and Sheila Jackson is no different. And I understand now why Sheila, to be relevant, has to stay in front of the camera. I understand why Sheila Jackson Lee, to be relevant, has to make the play that she makes many a times. Otherwise, she is invisible. I get it. And you know how I got that? I sat down and I listened to a woman explain to me, think about what has happened. And they enumerated a lot of other women, Black, white, and otherwise, that they have to do or how they have to behave in Congress. So to close out now, what I'd like to tell you, brother, is the following. You may like Whitmire. The last time we spoke, I said, tell me something specific that Whitmire did for people other than the ads you saw on TV. And you said you didn't know, you couldn't enumerate any one thing. Ask me about Sheila, and I can tell you about what she has done for the immigration for immigrants. I can tell you what she has done within the Social Security network. I can tell you what she's done to help constituents in her district that needed particular assistance that only the government could provide. I can tell you things that they did. There is no one who can tell me I called Whitmire and Whitmire did this for me. But what they can tell you is Whitmire hangs out with a whole bunch of right-wing folks that really haven't done anything for anyone, except for Mattress Mac, who I have mixed feelings about. Anyway, Bart, I got to go to Derek, but you can say something real quick before we close out. But I gave you your time as well.
Well, Whitmire's a Democrat. He's got to reach across the aisle to these guys.
All right.
You know, Sheila Jackson Lee can't do that. So, Brother, to
what
are we going to do for the city in the future? That's
brother,
what we got to save this city.
Bart, I agree. But let me just tell you this. It's a fallacy to say Sheila can't work with Republicans. Look at the record. Look at the laws that she has signed on with Republicans. But brother, we talk another day. I love that you call in with your point of view. You keep us honest, brother. Take care, brother.
Okay, thanks.
All right, let's go to Derek. Come on in, Derek.
Hey, good morning, Roberto. Well,
good morning,
Roberto,
sir.
The last caller, it sounds like, they are running scared to me. I mean, I'm listening to this tit for tat stuff, and none of it is really based in truth. It's just based in what you think. Because just like you just said to him, man, go look at Sheila Jackson Lee's record. This woman been there for quite a bit long time. Don't nobody stay in politics for well over 25 or 35 or 40 years and have not done nothing. That is a flat out lie. And truthfully, with Whitmire right now, the Republicans are only getting on the side of Whitmire because they have nobody to run. And because they don't have no love for Whitmire, he's a Democrat.
Right. Well, Derek,
ahead,
can I interrupt you? Let me interrupt you because I think I disagree with you on one thing, sir. And it goes like that. But before I interrupt you, I want to say, Susan Reinhardt, thank you so kindly for your kind contribution. We need a lot more, Susan. As you can see, we're having great discussion here. I don't want to stop this discussion. So please, as we discuss this, please call 713-526-5738 and hit extension number 1 to donate, or go ahead and go to politicsdoneright. I'm sorry, go to wrong. Go to kpft.org. kpft.org and hit the donate button. We need your calls badly so that we can make our quota. Sorry to interrupt you, Derek, and let me tell you where I disagree. I disagreed with you on two things. One, that a politician can't be in power for a long time and do nothing. That is how I think one has defined Whitmire. And again, you mentioned an important thing when you say, look at the record. Look at the record. Somebody that says I can work with Republicans all the time, but has got to know policies for your constituents. That's a wasted amount of time that you spent. The other one is that I forgot what I was going to say. So continue, Derek.
Well, reason why I said that because 30 and 40 years is because the same rhetoric comes out the mouth of most folks that don't necessarily agree with the politician because Roberto, I deal with truth,
right?
And the truth is, when Barack Obama was in there for 8 years, what do you hear coming from out of Republican mouth? He's done nothing for 8 years,
right?
For the most part, most people that say that, if you would take the time, go to the website and pull up everything that the person did. You can't tell me that there's nowhere in the world you can work be a president for 8 years and have not done nothing that supported anything that you said that you wanted done.
Derek, you're absolutely right. And let me tell you, I would be foolish to say Reagan hadn't done anything in 8 years. I am a left-wing guy. But you know what? When Barack Obama said Reagan was one of the most transformational presidents in our history, Obama was right. And Obama tried to mitigate that because when he passed the legislation for the Obamacare and a couple of other big legislation, he became a transformative president. Biden became a transformative president by throwing more than $2 trillion into the economy that otherwise wouldn't have been thrown into the economy, and prove that it's successful. But hey, I'm running low on time, Derek. I love that you called. I love of what you said, but I need to go to Shay and then to Harry. All right, brother? Thank you so kindly. Let's go to Shay. Come on in, Shay.
Hi. I'm
Good
calling
morning.
in. I was the one. How are you doing?
I am doing fine.
I was calling to make a comment on it's just when he made that statement yesterday, I had to sit back and analyze and think about he's probably coming from what half of the world is going through now. And I say half is racial comments and racial feelings that they either were taught, they either was, brought pushed up on, projected on.
Right.
And that's probably where he was coming from when he made that statement. So with that being said,
No, go ahead, Shay. I'm sorry. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Okay. So with that being said, it is a lot of debate on the politics as far as Sheila Jackson and whichever mayor's running. I'm not too familiar on any of them. That's what I was telling my son, because he also want to speak on what is going on within the educational, the schools. I'm so appalled on them taking out the libraries, on some of the schools. I'm not it's just a shock. And I'm just getting speeches as I talk. I would like to see more of us come together as a whole and not always talk about the color of your skin, but talk about the love and talk about God but it's so much out there and you just don't know. So I just rather for us to all come together.
No, Shay, let me talk to you, Shay. Bart, I love that Bart calls into the program because Bart represents a lot of people who think the way Bart thinks. And, notice I invited Bart to coffee and Bart said, yes, Egberto, we're going to go have that coffee. And I'm going to go have coffee with Bart. All right. And whenever we can arrange something, and you know why? Because that is what it's take. I used to be I was on the board of a group called Coffee Party USA, and that is how we talk about you have to make change. You don't make change by just slamming somebody. You make change, and I'm talking about the average people now, okay? I'm not talking about a politician. I'm going to slam them till the end of the day. But when it comes to my brothers and sisters in the community, I am going to coffee with them. Me and Bart are going to go to coffee, all right? You hear that, Bart? You ain't getting out of that one. But anyway, so
tell him to add 10 sugars to his coffee just to make it real. Here's some of the soft things that you're gonna tell him, okay?
All right, I will do that, Shay. But anyway, you have a great day, Shay. All right. Okay. I want to give a big thank you to Anthony. Anthony, thank you so kindly for your kind contribution, folks. I need to get a lot more. Before I go to Harry, I think do we have this? Let me go to the control room to see if they're ready to say something. Control room?
Control room here. Yeah, Sandy's online here, and he's ready to talk to you, and let's do a little pitching.
Yeah, come on, Sandy, talk to me.
Good morning, Egberto.
Buenos dias.
Did I say final? I did. On this final Friday of Fund Drive, we're going to go to Sunday, but this is your final opportunity to support politics done right in situ, in the moment, during the show. 713-526-5738. Yeah, Anthony and Susan and Marco, they're already on board here, and that's wonderful to see at this hour of the morning. People opening up their hearts, their minds, their wallets, and supporting community radio and politics done right. Why don't you join in? This is the final Friday. We've been at this now. This is the 22nd day of Fund Drive.
Yes.
Yeah. You've been counting them like I've been counting them. And we really love it when people do take action and contribute. If you can join on a sustaining basis of $5 or $10 a month, your pledge will be matched with a $50 bill. And oh, by the way, it could be $25, $50 a month, $100 a month. We even picked up one underwriter this fund drive for $500 a month. So some people are going really deep and supporting KPFT. We could really use your contribution. We're closing in on the 80% mark of our overall goal. That would be $120,000. Last time I looked, we were about, a little over $2,000 short from that marker. And that's an important marker. It looks to me like we're going to do okay at the end of the day here, but we really like to get as close to that 150,000 as we can. Those are the dollars that we need to pay the bills for the next 3 months. That's how it's calculated. So once that's in the bank, rest assured, KPFT is in a really good spot till we come back and talk to you again in February. But for now, 713-526-5738 or kpft.org. And if you haven't done your part already, a lot of people have. Anthony has, Susan has, Marco has just this morning. If you have not, please be radioactive and do your part.
Hey, Sandy, isn't it true?
5738.
Sandy, isn't it true that if we can get a lot more sustaining members paying $5 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month, we can actually reduce the length of these fund drives? Isn't that what you told all the programmers recently?
Yes, and that's what I've been saying on the air for the last 3 weeks. Everybody that's signing in on a sustaining basis is helping us to eradicate undrive days. That's exactly right. Think of the logic. It's pretty darn simple. If you sign up on a sustaining basis, which means that you're giving that 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever dollar amount it is that you figure out each month without cancellation, that is until you take action to cancel it. So in effect, it's an evergreen donation to KPFT in a monthly amount that you designate. And when a lot of us get together and do that, that $5 contribution that you make and that others make, they add up and they combine. And pretty soon what we find is on a monthly basis, KPFT has the money it needs to pay its bills. Overall, that would be $52,000 a year ago in October. Go ahead.
That is great. Let me just say something, folks. We are not just talking. Look, personally, I do the program as a volunteer, but I also am a contributor, a sustaining member of KPFT. I give $10 a month. Let me tell you what I do. I have a list of activist organizations and media organizations that I consider essential if we really want to get, in our case, the progressive message out. And I allot monies to each one of them out of the limited budget that I have. And I make sure that KPFT is included. A lot of you good people that are listening right now, you give to a lot of different groups and you feel accomplished for doing that. I ask kindly that you also add us to your repertoire. You add us to that group of that bucket of groups that you give to on a monthly basis, that you give to on a yearly basis. Add us to that bucket, because we are worth it. We are out there doing the job. We're not just asking, we're actually performing. So I ask you so kindly to give us a call at 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. We cannot do this without you. Like I said, I am also a contributor. So I'm contributing and volunteering. We're asking you to contribute. And by the way, if you want to volunteer a few things to do, there are a lot of other things that you can do as well. Tell people about KPFT. Encourage others who are at KPFT or who listen to KPFT to give. Encourage others to also just become new listeners of KPFT. There's so much all of us can do to make sure this great organization succeeds, because in these times, it is extremely necessary that a KPFT exists, not only for the voice that we have here, but as you can see, what we do here is we bring everybody's voices in. Bart calls in. Bart is diametrically opposed to many of the things that I say, but Bart deserves a voice. Everybody deserves a voice, and he can come here and have a voice. everybody comes here and have a voice. 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to contribute. We need a lot more. I want to thank Anthony, Susan, Marco. You guys are wonderful. You guys keep us alive. Anything else you want to say, Sandy, before I continue?
Yes, just thank you to all those that have contributed. And remember, we have these memory bricks for $25 and $50 a month, 4x8 and 8x8. We're about to put these down in the front yard. Show your support to the world, to KPFT, by getting one of these bricks. Again, $25 a month for a 4x8 brick. You will get 4 lines of 32 characters on which to write your inscription. Or if you need more room, you have a bigger limerick. 8x8 bricks are $50 a month. Egberto, I have an 8x8 brick that I support monthly as well to KPFT. That's the way I support the station. So sustainer members, really, really welcomed. And thank you for doing that. And to all people contributing this morning, all drive, thank you for doing that. It really makes the difference.
Thank you for that, Sandy. Okay, I want to say this. I have 2 callers on the line. I'm giving you 30 seconds because we have to finish pitching. But you called. It's your show. I'm giving. Yes, sir.
Okay, control room here. Let's just go ahead and keep going until Amy.
Okay.
We're just gonna go right to the top of the hour. So you got some time for your comments.
Okay, thank you, my brother. Hey, come on in real quick, Harry. 30. Come on, Harry, real quick.
Sandy, you're clear.
Thank you, Howard, for playing Kenny G. And I know you'll play those requests that I talked to you about yesterday. Also, Black people vote their interests, their conscience. There's 2 more clowns that I didn't mention yesterday. That Black people who are intelligent do not vote for clowns like Larry Elder and Dumb Donald, Fat Albert character, Tim.
All right, thank you, Harry. You always give me some after you give me some solid stuff.
Some more Monday.
Thank you, brother, and thanks for calling. Brian, 30 seconds, my brother.
Yeah, man-made global warming is a myth.
That's all you want to say? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you for calling. Now, when I hear somebody say that it's a myth, I just have to make sure and correct the record. Scientists have proven that it isn't, and I don't think my brother Brian is a scientist, so I don't know that what he says we should actually take without doing some research on our own. Thank you, my brother. You have a very nice rest of you.
Name the research. It's been peer reviewed.
99. We can do it. I can list it for you. I'll send it on my website for you specifically. Thank you, brother. All right, let's go ahead and continue real quick. 713-526-5738. Folks, I only have 3 on our last day of Fund Drive. Please give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to contribute. We still need a lot more contributions for Politics Done Right. You can do it. Please go ahead and do it now. Go ahead, Howard.
Oh, I was going to say, so asking Sandy if he wants to come back, and we'll do a little more talking about this. We've got 2.5 minutes to the top of the hour, so we've got some time to raise some funds for KPFT. So let's go. Come on,
Sandy. Save the day, Sandy.
Right here. Yeah, right here. It's all good. Hey, folks, Egberto's right. It is the final day of drive, and 3 of you have called up. I'd like to see at least 2 more pledges here in the last couple of minutes. This guy works his butt off. He gets up early. He's doing this for you. He does do the research, and I'm sure he's going to put the source online, like he says. You just go ahead and look at his webpage. It will be there. This is not something that he does unprepared or takes lightly. He's into it in the biggest way that I can imagine, and he needs some support for his efforts, as does the station. So show your love for Egberto here on the final weekday of Pledge Drive. Come on, we can do this together. 713-526-5738 or kpft.org. Pick up a Politics Done Right t-shirt, a KPFT hoodie, a Fall Fund Drive t-shirt, maybe some concert tickets. The thank yous are all there, but the biggest thank you is having KPFT. It's having free speech on the dial. This should not be taken lightly. Freedoms are disappearing everywhere. Let's not lose this little diamond in the middle of Houston. 713-526-5738. One full-time employee, we have cut expenses to the bone. What's left are the non-negotiable things like paying the power bill or the internet bill, or paying for the ASCAP BMI rights, et cetera, et cetera. The tower rental adds up to $52K a month. Please do your part.
713-526-5738. We definitely cannot do this without you. We are at 59 right now, folks. My name is Egberto Willis. I want to thank Sandy, Howard, and Jack in the control room. You guys have a wonderful day. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.